Hello everybody and welcome to Penguins to Go, your daily dose of Pittsburgh Penguins news and analysis. Find us on YouTube at Inside the Penguins or anywhere you get your podcasts from. I'm your host Nick Brlansky, and today we're going to be talking about a massive matchup for the Pittsburgh Penguins between them and the New York Rangers. Now, the Penguins' win streak came to a close on Sunday as they fell to division rival Carolina Hurricanes, and while they'll look to exact some revenge on them Thursday at PPG Paints Arena, there's a little bit more revenge that the Penguins need to exact upon the New York Rangers after they knocked them out of the playoffs last year in 7 games, including a wild overtime loss to the Rangers in Game 7. So the Rangers coming in are third in the Metropolitan Division, currently riding a 7-game winning streak of their own, and a lot of that is due to goaltending of Igor Shesterkin. He has allowed 1 goal in 4 of his last 5 games, and he has won 6 straight starts for the New York Rangers. So that's going to be the big matchup, and we don't even know if he's going to start, but I would imagine that Igor Shesterkin gets the start. If not, that the Penguins have really just avoided one of the hottest goaltenders in the league. But it seems as if Igor will probably go on Tuesday night. Regardless, this is the first time that these teams are meeting since the playoffs in May. A crazy series that, listen, the Pittsburgh Penguins have plenty of ifs and what ifs to go with that series. What if Tristan Jarry was healthy and played more than just Game 7? And even in Game 7, he played hobble. What if Jacob Trouba didn't hit Sidney Crosby high and took him out for the remainder of Game 5 and the entirety of Game 6? What if Rickard Rakell would have played? What if even Casey DeSmith would have been in net? There's a lot of what ifs, but at the end of the day, the New York Rangers took down the Pittsburgh Penguins in 7 games and then went on to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. But when you look at that series, the one main thing that you saw was the Pittsburgh Penguins were the better team for the majority of that 7-game stretch. So they'll look to get their revenge on that. Last season, the Rangers owned the Pittsburgh Penguins in the regular season. They were 3-1 against Pittsburgh, and the only loss was a 1-0 matinee game where Tristan Jarry had to stand on his head, and it took an Evgeny Malkin goal late in the game to be the difference maker for the Penguins. So the Pens, at the end of the day, struggled in the regular season. I thought they excelled against them in the postseason. So where does that bring us today? I think special teams is always going to be a factor. You know, we mention it a lot, and I understand that, listen, it's a factor in every game. It's a factor for every team. But more so when you're going up against a unit like the New York Rangers power play. Mika Zibanejad's one-timer in basically the Ovechkin spot. Artemi Panarin's ability and vision in general. Adam Fox at the same level. Those 3 guys alone are a dangerous power play. Add Chris Kreider in the front of the net, and it's going to be very, very difficult for the Penguins' penalty kill to slow them down. So obviously you need to stay out of the box. But the Penguins have some really good special teams of their own, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow on the episode of Penguins to Go. But the Penguins' special teams has been on fire as of late. The power play has goals in 8 straight games, the first time since 2015-16, and they are now up to 19th in the National Hockey League. Considering where they were at about a month ago, the fact that they're all the way up to 19th and into the top 20 is an impressive feat on its own right. The penalty kill, even better, is up to 4th in the National Hockey League right now. So that's going to be really one of the key matchups, is the Penguins penalty kill against the New York Rangers power play. The Rangers power play is 12th in the National Hockey League, underperforming by their standards. Based on what we've seen from them over the past couple of seasons, 12th in the NHL is underperforming, but they still have the horses to be able to get the job done, and that's going to be a really big matchup for the Pittsburgh Penguins, especially considering the fact that they're playing without Josh Archibald, who isn't a penalty kill guy. I understand that. But he's a guy that in a matchup like this can get you to the power play and can make sure that if there is a call, there might be an even up, because people just, for some reason, love to punch Josh Archibald in the face. He draws the most penalties on the Pittsburgh Penguins by far, and that is that's a big loss for them heading into this one. Drew O'Connor is expected to draw into the lineup. But other than that, injury-wise, Jason Zucker returned to practice. I would doubt that he gets in, even though he was a full participant in yesterday's practice, because as we heard from him afterwards, the timeline hasn't changed. So that's the stage. And that's what is set up here for a Tuesday night matchup between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers. So what is one of the keys? What are three of the keys for the Pittsburgh Penguins to get revenge on these New York Rangers? First and foremost, and I've mentioned it basically throughout the entire first 5 minutes of this episode, you have to stay out of the penalty box. Because even though you have the fourth best penalty kill in the National Hockey League, this Rangers power play can be lethal. And we've seen them have success against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That was the main reason that they beat the Penguins in the playoffs last year. You have to stay out of the box. Because if you give Panarin, Zibanejad, Fox, and Kreider, and whoever the fifth guy is, whoever it is, Lafreniere, Kakko, I don't care. Whoever the fifth guy is with those four, that's going to be a lethal unit, and that's a unit that can change the momentum of the game. Even if you kill those penalties, this is the type of game that if you take a penalty, it's just going to hurt your momentum because this team is not going to go and get 0 shots on the man advantage. So you have to stay out of the box. You have to stay disciplined, especially in a game where tempers are going to be flaring. Emotions are going to run high whenever it's a team that you played in the playoffs last season, let alone played for 7 games in the playoffs the previous season. Another key to the Penguins' victory tonight will be to get on Igor Shesterkin early. We saw he struggled at PPG Paints Arena last season in the playoffs, especially in games 3 and 4. In game 6, he looked a little bit better, but the Penguins still got to him a couple of times. That's what they need to do, is get to Igor early, get in his head a little bit, and make him realize that this is a house of horrors for him. Because if you don't, and you let him get hot, we mentioned it at the top of the episode, he's won 6 straight, and he's only given up 1 goal in 4 of his last 5 appearances. The guy is an absolute unit, right? He's a Vezina Trophy winner for a reason. He's one of the best goaltenders in the league once again this season. You need to get out onto him early. You need to remind him why he struggled so much in Pittsburgh last offseason, or last postseason, I should say. So stay out of the box, get to Igor, and also you got to stay true to your defensive plan. The Pittsburgh Penguins have won games in multiple different ways this month, but the one thing that they need to do against a high-flying team like the New York Rangers, you have to stay true to the defense. Because the run-and-gun style, I understand the Penguins can play it almost as good as anyone, but so can the New York Rangers. If you want to change things up, you got to make the Rangers play a different style of game. And that's that defensive, not giving much up. We saw it against the Carolina Hurricanes on Sunday. We saw it against the Florida Panthers on Thursday. Control the puck, control the possession, and stay true to your defense. Don't give up high danger opportunities, and protect the house in front of Tristan Jarry. Because if you go run and gun, the New York Rangers are going to start licking their chops, and they're going to be able to go up and down with you the entire night. Don't get into that horse race, especially when you have a guy like Drew O'Connor who's going to be stepping in. I know he's only going to play like 8 minutes tonight, but he's going to be stepping in for the first time in a couple months at the NHL level. He's going to have to get his feet underneath him. You're also still without a guy like Jason Zucker, who's very key to running that run-and-gun style because he brings a little bit of physicality that forces bad turnovers. He's not going to be in the lineup. You have to stay true to your defense. You have to show what you've shown over the past couple of games, and that is you're going to win this game in a low-scoring event. If it gets to high scoring, I don't doubt the Penguins can keep pace with the New York Rangers, but it's going to make it a lot more difficult for the Penguins to slow down the Rangers at that point than it will if they can get out in front of it early and play that defensive style to protect Tristan Jarry, because he has been playing out of his mind lately. It helps when your defense in front of you is playing well. You have to stay opportunistic and defensively sound, because that's what's going to beat the New York Rangers. That's going to do it for this quick episode of Penguins to Go. We hope you enjoyed this little preview of tonight's matchup, Penguins at the Rangers. We'll be back tomorrow to talk a little bit more about the Pittsburgh Penguins' special team success and whether or not it is sustainable for the rest of the season. You can find us on YouTube at Inside the Penguins, or anywhere you get your podcasts from. That's going to do it for this one. We'll see you guys tomorrow.